What is up, studs, and welcome to Ask MandR episode 398, and while I am about to discuss some very rare and expensive LEGO Star Wars items, they will both pale in comparison to the LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy napkin that I just got. This is a lot rarer than the other LEGO Star Wars napkins that I own. And now I suppose I should add it into my Jedi Bob shrine. Anyway, first question from Levi says, do you think LEGO has restarted production of last year's May 4th promo for the current giveaways, or are they just getting rid of leftovers from last year? Will this damage the value of the set? And for those that missed it, LEGO has brought back the Camino training facility for purchases of $160 or more on LEGO Star Wars sets currently. It may or may not still be available as of the release or whenever you're watching this video, but I would highly recommend, if you did miss out on that set and there's something else you've been waiting for, to get on that, especially with the April 1st Rakuten deal where you're going to get 16% cash back. They didn't sponsor this video, they sponsored my Worst to First, but it's still something worth mentioning here. I'll have my affiliate link for Rakuten in the description below for the $50 cashback bonus. Like, you can do an insane stack with this promo with VIP points and everything. So just so people know, it is back on lego.com. If you did miss it or if you wanted more, you can get it now. The question he asked is, will it damage the value of the set? Inherently so. I mean, unless the demand for the set goes up, the value of it will go down because there's just now more supply in the market. So I think it's a pretty simple equation there. Not something I'm concerned about, I guess. And to answer the other part of your question, it is certainly to get rid of leftovers from last year. I cannot think of a time where they reproduced a Star Wars GWP like that. Maybe they've done it for another theme, but they produce them and that's it. And then sometimes like this, they will have leftovers that they'll continue to give away. We've seen it happen many times in the past, including with some very expensive stuff nowadays, like Darth Revan. That one came back like a few years later, and they gave him out, like nobody wanted him, and now it's like a $400 polybag. So you just never know with crazy stuff like that. Anyway, next from the real CJ Studs, he says, have you seen this? And he links a YouTube video from Andrew Collects, and he says, seems to have the classic 1999 Darth Vader, but with a shiny torso print, only sold in Norway in 1999, valued at $500 on Bricklink. Would you consider buying it or not? Boy, would I consider buying it. So there's a little more than actually you mentioned here, because not only is there this variant of Darth Vader with the shiny silver torso that is very obviously more shiny than the normal Darth Vader, so I would recommend checking your collection, because this could be a case like the Phase 1 Commander Fox with the gray circle, no gray circle in the Separatist Spider Droid, where for a certain period of time it had no gray circle, and then they added the gray circle, and then the rarer variant became much more expensive, and that very well could happen here with the Vader, just with the way collectors work. You know how it goes, right? So definitely something to check your collection for, because it could be something that's a little bit more out there than we think, but also it seems to be that this shiny Vader definitely came in a poly bag from 1999 that I think last sold on Bricklink for about $1,800. And how do I know that? Because I'm the one who bought it.
I'm the spy.
And I want to say it was like 6 months ago, somebody sent me an Instagram DM or an email, and they said they had this, and I had never seen it anywhere else, and I at some point just lost the communication, lost the contact. I tried to search for it, I couldn't find it, but I had seen this like 6 months ago, and I was like, man, that's cool. I'll probably never have it in the collection because this guy might have the only one. And sure enough, they finally add it to Bricklink as something that you can buy, and there was somebody selling it. And so I bought it. And I rationalized, I mean, $1,800 is not a small amount of money for something like this. Like, I didn't pay that much for the Rebuild the Galaxy napkin, But with this Galactic Challenge Darth Vader poly bag, I figured it has to be worth the money, because you look at the market for other Darth Vader poly bags with Chrome Vader, which there are at least 10,000 of, if not many more, because they didn't say it was limited to 10,000 like the C-3PO was a couple years earlier. And that one is worth, I don't know, $750 to $1,000. Just top of my head, I don't know what the poly bag's exactly worth, but it's worth in that range. And then there's the 2005 Nuremberg Toy Fair Darth Vader with the light up minifig inside, and that Vader in there isn't unique, it's just a unique poly bag, and I think that poly bag is worth somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 as well. I'll have the exact Bricklink numbers on screen for you, but it's in that range. And then you think this is something that is orders of magnitude rare, something that people hadn't really discovered for 25 years on the internet from LEGO Star Wars, and I just thought it has to be worth the $1,800 to me, as a hardcore LEGO Star Wars collector. It just was something I had to have for my collection, so I went and bought it. So would I consider buying it? Absolutely. Now, the other consideration is, do I need to have this minifig for my every minifig collection that I have to bring to conventions and stuff? And I feel like the answer is yes. So I feel like I low-key need to buy a loose one for the $400 or $500 to add in to my minifig display So, yeah, I'm on the hook probably for that. But, yeah, very cool discovery for a new collectible LEGO Star Wars minifigure and poly bag. The poly bag, of course, going to be much rarer than the actual loose figure, it seems, here in the early goings. But you never know. Someone could find a crate with 50 of them in there. And then it just happens every once in a while, by the way. You just never know. Like, people find white Bobas, and there's people out there that were LEGO employees that have 20 gold C-3POs or New York Yodas.
Are you serious?
It happens. It's weird, but it happens. Next up, from Razor Mango, he says, on the topic of rare items, very much so, he says, have you seen the episode 3 LEGO movie ticket that's like $77,000 on Bricklink? It's a gear item, by the way. So looking at this thing on Bricklink, this guy wants $77,000 for it.
Shut up.
And I'm prepared to take out a second mortgage on my house to be able to afford it, because I have to have this in my collection. Well, I say that, and I actually already have one in my collection.
Wow.
You just never know what I have sometimes. I've shown this before, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, this is a really cool rare item, isn't it? There's only one for sale for $77,000. So if anyone wants, I'll sell for $75,000. $75,000, it is yours. My hands are clean. You can have it. I paid, I think, pretty obviously a lot less than $77,000 for mine, and I would be very happy to sell it for $75,000. Look, I have this mindset when it comes to my collecting with LEGO Star Wars stuff of I want to have it all. I want to have as much as I can, but if it came to be that somebody offered me some ridiculously absurd amount of money for an item like that, I would sell it. Like, I'd be stupid not to take a $70,000+ profit on an item like that, right? Now, I think it goes without saying, I think there's no chance this thing would ever sell for anywhere near $77,000. This guy's had it on Bricklink, I think, for over a year, because before I got mine, which was somewhere around a year ago, I remember seeing it on here, and I think I messaged him, and I was like kind of trying to get a feeler, but I don't know. I don't remember what the interaction was like. I just was trying to see if he would want something less than 10% of the price he wants for it. Very cool item, and I guess to give you the quick background on it, it apparently was only given to the LEGO Star Wars team for a special pre-screening of Revenge of the Sith a few days before the actual movie came out. So I think that's a pretty cool thing, and it's a really amazing thing to have in the collection, of course, as Revenge of the Sith is my favorite movie. But yeah, not worth $77,000 probably, but yes, I'm very, very aware of the item. That's another item that about a year ago just kind of popped up out of nowhere that nobody really knew about from before, and it just happens every once in a while. It's really cool, but it's also scary to me because I just don't know what I don't have, and I don't like that thought. Next from Zach, he says, I recently took the LEGO Fan Compass, helping us navigate together survey. Did you take it, and how do you think this survey will affect LEGO Star Wars going forward? So LEGO did put out a survey. I think it's open for another couple weeks, and so I'll link it down in the description below or in the pinned comment if I remember. And I'll tell you, I would not expect it to have any effect on the great or once great theme of LEGO Star Wars. They put out, I believe, this exact same survey last year, because I remember filling it out, and I got about halfway through filling it out this time, and I was like, this is a waste of time. They didn't make any changes based on last year's survey. They don't care. They could watch the videos. They've probably watched the reviews. They know what's wrong with the theme. They know what they've cut. They know all of this, right? They don't need a survey for me to tell them that wastegapes need to come back on Clone Troopers and that they should just be good, or that the turbo tank shouldn't be tiny, or that prices should come down, etc., right? Like, we're all on the same page. They know people don't like stickers. They know all of this stuff. They don't need a survey for it. They put the survey out last year. Nothing changed. It only got worse, and we're going to be back in the same spot next year probably when they put out the survey again. So yeah, probably not the answer you were expecting, but nothing changes until something changes, in my opinion here. Next from Nathaniel, he says, what are your thoughts on LEGO pulling out of FLL, First LEGO League? Now, as somebody who was actually in the program back in 6th grade, it definitely made me sad. Like, it was a very enjoyable experience. I feel like I learned a lot and grew a bit as a person for having been part of the program. And so it made me kind of sad that future generations and kids just aren't going to be able to be part of something that I saw as a good thing, a good learning experience, you know, to play with the LEGO robotics. I know they're a bit different than they were when I was doing it now, but you know, that's besides the point. So yeah, I felt a little bit for the future kids that would miss out on it, although I thought maybe there would be something that is going to be replacing it, and there still may be, but that would have probably been the extent of my answer there. Just like, yeah, it was a good time. It's kind of sad to see it go, but otherwise I don't have too strong a feeling on it. And then I watched a video by Just Too Good, who beautifully explained exactly what happened, which LEGO won't tell you, but apparently the guy that runs the company First, or created the company First, who works in partnership with LEGO, his name is Dean Kamen. He invented the Segway. That's pretty cool. You know what else he did? He went to the island. Way to go, Lego! Way to go! You guys are so great. Oh my god. I'm crying. I'm crying. You went to the island, bro. And naturally, the guy denies knowing anything or any wrongdoing, but I mean, what he wrote is pretty unquestionable, whether or not he actually did anything crazy there or not, right? But I think, yeah, pretty nuts. So yeah, Lego's not going to come out and tell you that the Jedi Bob files are the reason First Lego League no longer exists, but it certainly seems like it's going to be. Because the other thing Just Too Good said in the video was that they had just put out a blog post like in January outlining plans for years to come for First Lego League. So they were already looking much further in the future. There was no reason for it to end this abruptly unless what Just Too Good's video said is correct, I think. So yeah, that is allegedly what's going on there. So crazy. Rafi's Holocron says, is the 75244 Tantive IV MBS, UCS, or none? I've never fully understood. Love the videos, by the way. Thank you very much. And we actually have an official answer from Lego Star Wars because every once in a while, those blog boys ask an actual important question. It's from Brickset in 2019, and they ask, why is the Tantive IV not categorized as an Ultimate Collector Series or Master Builder Series set? Because this Tantive wasn't just a normal set released in Target and Walmarts, despite looking like it could have been. It was a set that was a direct-to-consumer, so only from Lego.com or the Lego store type of set. You may also have seen or will see that written as D2C, but anyway, the answer goes, the objective with this set was to make a big play set that would also appeal to older kids and fans that want to display it. The UCS category is reserved for sets that are primarily intended to be displayed and usually come with a stand and a plaque. The Master Builder series are big play sets where the focus is more on play rather than display. We wanted the Tantive to be in the middle because of the unique characteristics and history within the Star Wars universe that the ship holds. And I think that makes sense. I don't think just slapping a label on it as UCS or MBS would have worked or would have been received well. And so having it just sit as kind of a nothing set, which we actually saw them do again in 2021 with the R2-D2 that they released. They did not categorize that one as an Ultimate Collector Series or Master Builder Series set. They just released a big R2-D2, which was kind of interesting. So I definitely agree with what Lego Star Wars did there. And I mean, I think if you look at the Republic dropship with AT-OT, that's another phenomenal example of a set that isn't UCS, isn't MBS, but it was D2C, and it just existed, right? But there's nothing really about that dropship and AT-OT that's fundamentally different than the ATTE or the Republic gunship from the same era, other than the fact that it was two sets in one for a very expensive price and only sold at Lego stores and Lego.com, right? That's the core difference. Not that the set is more beautiful or, you know, a big sprawling Geonosis battle. It's just a combo set that they only sold as a D2C set. So yeah, every once in a while they do that. It's very rare. And I kind of wonder how it would be perceived. You know, the R2-D2 is a little bit different, I think, but if they did another set like the Tantive, like the dropship with AT-OT as a D2C, I don't know if people would like that or not. Maybe just depends on the set, I think. Like if it was a dropship with AT-OT, it'd be well received. If it was another Tantive right now, I don't think it would be as well received. But anyway, moving on from Fleek, he says, do you think the next time we see a Dooku with the curved hilt, it will still be chrome? Lego seems to do chrome elements to this day, like the ring on the Sauron helmet set. Why will Lego do elements like that in chrome, but not saber hilts? I actually have no idea why they still do the ring in chrome, despite claiming that chrome chips and it's bad when you put it in hands, but you do put the ring in minifig hands. Maybe it's because the hand doesn't go around the ring goes on the hand. Maybe that's the core difference there that has allowed them to, wave away internally whatever reasoning it was. But the Dooku saber will certainly not be chromed.
What?
That's not going to happen. Don't get your hopes up just because the ring in Lord of the Rings continues to be chromed. And I wouldn't like the Dooku saber to be chromed if they're not going to chrome all the other lightsabers, because it would be inconsistent, of course. And we all know how much we value consistency. Kevin next says, what do you think about the new leaked Marvel Helicarrier? You know, I saw a picture showing the interiors of these compared. It made me sad how bad the new one is, at least in regards to like the life that the micro figures gave the original Helicarrier. Like just having studs in this one feels like such a cheap cop-out compared to the fact that they made a micro figure and then printed on it for a bunch of the characters in the original Helicarrier. Like I love that. You know, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. I don't know a whole lot about all these vehicles and things, but it's a nice looking Helicarrier to me. Like it definitely looks small to me for the price, but yeah, the Helicarrier looks all right. I am not going to be buying it. Like, I had the original one and I never made a video on it. I bought the midi scale one, never made a video on it, and got rid of it, both of them. And so I think I don't want to go for the hat trick there. I'm going to stay away from this Helicarrier. Next up from West Dobby says, what would you say the top 3 missed opportunities of Lego Star Wars are? I'll do you one better. I'll give you 7, one for each year of the modern era. So what I'm going to do is scroll down each year of Lego Star Wars till I see what I feel like is the missed opportunity, or maybe I'll think of a set that I remember them not releasing that year and discuss that really quick. But yeah, I'll be fairly brief with each. So 2020, what do we have? The 501st Battle Pack being twice the price is a pretty big missed opportunity to not release a 501st Battle Pack that was half the price. I feel like that could count. I wouldn't consider the AAT cannon being twice as long as it should be a missed opportunity. That's just wrong and bad. But oh, here we go. Yes, this is definitely the biggest missed opportunity of 2020. The Grievous Starfighter not including Phase 2 Cody. And that was an integral part of the rumors of this set actually at the time, because we had a really, really blurry box image and nobody could tell if it was going to be Commander Cody or 212th, or of course it turned out to be a 212th Airborne Trooper in the set here. So yeah, Phase 2 Commander Cody not being in the Grievous Starfighter, definitely a huge missed opportunity and led to a lot of other stuff later on. Well, do I need to scroll any further? Top row, we got the UCS Republic gunship, and obviously the biggest missed opportunity here was in the minifigures, where we could have gotten a Phase 2 Commander Cody, or perhaps a Jedi Bob, or, you know, anything that was actually voted on the most by the fans that LEGO didn't just shoehorn in there because they didn't like what actually won the minifig fan vote that they asked for. So I would go with that, certainly. I don't see anything. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other stuff from 2021 that I could pick at here, but that's not the point. So we'll move on. 2022. What do we got? Missed opportunities. Making good clone troopers, I don't think should count as a missed opportunity. The crab droid, though, I think counts as a real missed opportunity because we still haven't had one 4 years later, and we have had a much better spider droid. I'll give him that. That new spider droid's fantastic, but no crab droid here in 2022. Big swing and a miss. Huge swing and a miss. What a shame, and I don't really think anything for me would beat that out for 2022. I imagine something like the Fondor Hallcraft could fit in with this year as well, because I think this is the year Andor came out. Yeah, there's the ambush on Ferrix. So you could fit that in as a missed opportunity, although I'm not going to remember all that stuff as I'm going through this really quick. I'm just going to be looking at the sets, so unless I can think of something. So Fondor Hallcraft or Crab Droid, neither of which we have had here 4 years later. 2023, what is the biggest missed opportunity? Oh boy, this is going to be a tougher one, I think. So I think kind of two ways about this missed opportunity, because if you remember in my review, I said that it should have been a battle pack that we actually ended up getting this year in 2026, and that it would have 2 330 seconds and 2 Maul Super Commandos. However, because the figures would have been bad anyway, does it matter that they missed the opportunity? I almost would argue not. So I don't even think I would count that as my biggest missed opportunity for 2023. I feel like actually it's not having minifigs in the helmet sets this year, because you could have had the Princess Leia Boushh minifig, which we still have not had here 3 years later, and a Phase 1 Commander Cody minifig, which we still haven't seen 3 years later. And of course, for both of these helmet sets, we haven't had in over a decade at this point. So obviously Phase 2 Cody's an ATT, but Phase 1 Cody, we haven't seen since 2011. But of course, Captain Rex, we ended up getting the figure in a couple of sets, so a bit of a different scenario there. But yeah, I think biggest missed opportunity that I'm seeing here just off the rip be minifigs and helmet sets. Would have been nice. 2024, oh boy. Well, I still think it's true that during the year of 2024, it was a missed opportunity to not have a Venator alongside the Invisible Hand. I feel like that would have been good. And that also stands for 2025. Could have worked there. Obviously, we still ended up getting it, so it's a little bit different in retrospect. But that's, I think, an opportunity that was missed within the year. Otherwise, I mean, no cloth on Boba Fett. Does that count? It feels small, but it's more of like, this is just a blatant inaccuracy, you know, which we have plenty of in a lot of these sets, and I wouldn't consider a missed opportunity. It's just like, do it right. 2024 really is not giving me a lot here that I see as like, oh, they really missed something here. Like, there's plenty of stuff that I think they did wrong or poorly with the quality of minifigs in sets, but I don't want to consider that as like missed opportunity, because yeah, of course we missed the opportunity to get a good Fives minifigure. Of course we missed the opportunity to get a good Phase 2 Rex minifigure. You know, that's obvious stuff. But like, you know, maybe you could point to one of the 25th anniversary figs and say, hey, it was a missed opportunity to have something much better, much cooler than a young Leia in a set like this. But obviously it's clear why they put young Leia in a set like this, if you can figure it out. But anyway, yeah, 2024, I don't feel like I have a great answer for it. 2025 missed opportunities. What do we have? Oh boy. Oh, of course, 2025. Yes, let's keep scrolling. Here we go. Biggest missed opportunity? How do you release a turbo tank with Galactic Marines, Kiadi Mundi, and Commander Bakara instead of a UTAT. Yeah, that's the answer. That's an easy one. Biggest missed opportunity, not making a UTAT instead of a turbo tank. Now, you could have made a turbo tank this year, don't get me wrong, but if you made a turbo tank with different figures, it works. If you make a turbo tank with the figures that are unique to the UTAT, it doesn't, and vice versa, right? So yeah, maybe you could argue that this should have been in the Death Star, but that, you know, I don't think it's bigger than missing the UTAT, which we literally have never gotten and probably never will get now. So anyway, 2026, I know the year's not over, but what's the biggest missed opportunity so far? Perhaps it's putting smart bricks in all of the smart play sets. You know, I don't even care about that personally, because even if the smart bricks were in the sets, they're still bad sets with poor sounds. Like, I don't really care whether it has the brick or not, because it's still a bad experience. It just costs more money to have the bad experience. But yeah, I think I would go with that for right now. But of course, there's plenty of time left in the year for LEGO to miss more opportunities, because I think people comment this every once in a while in my video. LEGO never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity. So yeah, I hope that was fun for y'all. Next from PS Wyatt, he says, how much would your opinion change on Smart Play if the prices were reasonable? Let's say 10 cents per piece, and add $10 for the sets that include the Smart Brick. And I think a lot of people would be more receptive to Smart Play and Smart Brick sets if the prices were lower. But at the end of the day, you're asking what my opinion here is. My opinion would be wholly unchanged. I really am an inelastic consumer. For the upcoming X-Wing from the Mando movie, I have spent about $240 to get that set about a day early. And so I'm just spending the money to get the set, and I've spent 3 times retail price, and I don't hate the set more because I spent so much money on it, you know, so it doesn't go that way either. If the set was $10 cheaper at retail, in my review, it would reflect that, hey, it is a good value for your money and it might be worth considering purchasing. But as far as like, do I like the set? Do I not like the set? The money is not an issue there. I do not care if the set costs way too much. If it is perfect, it's perfect. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. And that's just how my reviews are. And the price, of course, is always going to be mentioned because that's an integral part of the review. But when it comes to my personal opinion, like, do I like this set or that set? Well, this set's a good value. I'm like, well, I'm not buying necessarily for the value of the set. I want it to be a good set. That's what I care about. So, yeah, for some people that might not be the case. But yeah, you're asking me, would my opinion change on Smart Play if it was cheaper? Let's say even half the price? No, wouldn't care. The sets still suck. They still look terrible. They still sound terrible. The minifigs still look terrible. Everything's terrible, all right?
That's terrible.
The price doesn't change that to me. Anyway, fellas, if you do have a question or topic for next week's episode, drop it down in the comments section below, and I just might choose it. And don't forget, use my Rakuten affiliate link in the description as well. Get that $50 cashback bonus. And on April 1st, LEGO is doing 16% cashback with Rakuten. You can stack all of that with insider points and the promos if there are any left. So it's a pretty crazy deal to be able to get for yourself for whatever set or sets you may have been waiting for. And yeah, that's it. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Check out more videos now. Bye.